Minions of the Zoo in space. Tonight's episode, The Tunnel of Terror. Hi. Oh, ain't that the truth? Let's do them in order. Yeah. It's essentially a made for streaming. It's a made for streaming TV movie disaster. Yeah. Uh, there's a lot visually and aesthetically overall. The tone is all wrong for Star Trek. I think they believe that because it's a Section 31 concept, that they can throw certain rules out the window, and they really can't, because even Section 31 isn't about being edgy and cool. You know, it's not about being the idiot that modern Star Trek is. Huh, right on. I can. I'm watching the chat now to see if I don't know. Let's
Properties,
see.
device.
I mean, it's working because I can hear you.
Ah, can y'all hear me now?
Let's find out. I don't know what we're supposed to do while we find out, because I'm
I mean,
assuming they can hear me.
I'm seeing my audio mixer moving up and down.
Oh, okay.
So I'm assuming that they can hear me because it's going up. Can somebody give me
Well,
a signal?
hopefully. Instead of a signal if someone can hear you, we got Frosted Glass asking what's the difference between Santa and a Jew. Oh, now you're really loud.
Sorry. Let me try this. Let me change volume.
It's always something, isn't it?
It really is. Can y'all hear me now? Is it better?
Frosted Glass, I don't know what. Oh, that's Mashisu is asking Frosted Glass, I don't know what.
Uh, but we were talking about the Section 31 thing, and I was saying uh, there are episodes where there are different aesthetics there, but those are holiday episodes, like the 1950s with the swingers, the crooners. You
Yeah.
can, but this seems like to be a real world place, and they're doing cyberpunk. Like, what the fuck is that costume she's wearing?
again, us going with the whole concept of a clandestine organization,
Yes.
which modern Star Trek Section 31 is not a clandestine group.
No, it's not.
They are they are an out in the open division of Starfleet, and
Yeah.
it's stupid. That's why it's stupid. I mean, yeah, the Tal Shiar was part of the Romulan government's intelligence service.
And so was
The
the Obsidian Order.
Obsidian Order, the the Obsidian Order was likewise. They were an entirely separate government
Mm-hmm.
bureaucracy, totally separate from their military even.
Mm-hmm.
And within Starfleet, you also have a division of Starfleet intelligence. That's
Yes.
already a thing too. What makes Section 31 different is that it exists outside of the chain of command.
Or so it claims.
Well, yeah, it's and this I bet they'll fuck this up too. Um, Section 31 is part of the original Starfleet charter, not the original Federation charter,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where they're going to fuck it up because Starfleet has existed longer than the Federation. That's Captain Archer was a member of Starfleet.
Yes, not the Federation. Well, he was,
Not,
but you know what I mean.
well, the Earth Starfleet, not the Federation Starfleet.
Yes.
And the Federation Starfleet has its roots in the Earth Starfleet. So, yes, that original charter is still in play. Article 14, Section 31.
Mm-hmm.
That's still that's where they get the name Section 31.
Okay.
But in New Trek, Section 31 is going to be all manner of look, we're spies. We do the spy things. This is what spies do. They think it's James Bond.
See, you
But if
know,
you remember, with Sloan on Deep Space Nine, he didn't come charging in with gizmos, gadgets, doohickeys, and whatnots. Those
yes,
were those were the things that he did. He
he was
went in with
subterfuge.
subterfuge and trickery.
Yes, he beamed Bashir out of his quarters into a holodeck and recreated the entire, Deep Space Nine. And he
Yeah,
only lost. He only got found out because he didn't account for one variable.
yeah. O'Brien's clavicle or
Yeah,
whatever.
is his shoulder.
Yeah.
He didn't account for it, and that's what got him.
Yep.
But this Michelle Yeoh, this Section 31 seems more like it's like a bad Power Rangers. You know,
Kind of.
she is out in the open. She's all but saying, "Hey, I'm Section 31" with a big ass sign.
Well, yeah, because even in Discovery, they had Section 31 had their own phasers. They had their own uniforms. They had their own uh,
Doohickeys,
what do you call it? Starfleet insignias. They had their own
com
fucking
badges.
yeah. They they had their own ships, and that is not how Section 31 operates.
I'm going to join a TFO for
Works for me.
for the event.
Event?
Yeah, pick one.
Oh, it doesn't matter to me.
Battle of the Binary Stars.
Oh, you would. I forgot about that one, but it's okay.
I mean, I could leave it.
No, that's fine. We're already. Oh well, okay.
Fine, it. We'll do. Let's do best served cold.
Let me take a look. Damn it, best served cold. Which one is that? I gotta look. Hang on.
Okay. Um,
Best served cold.
but yes, the first off, I them explaining Georgiou as this warrior queen, this warrior empress, how she rose in the ranks to be empress, is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yo, functional.
Hey, functional.
Big kerfuffle in sick bay. The away team's fine. Everybody's stable. I need a cigarette.
My engines.
Smoke if you got them.
Oh. What's up, boy?
We were talking about the Section 31.
Yeah.
What? Section 31?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a trailer for Section 31.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, you tweeted that out to me. I'm like, I'm not watching this. Until Kurtzman gets the fuck away from it, I don't care. Star Wars too, but I don't care about Star Trek anymore. Like they lost me in STD, and Strange New World was not enough to bring me back. So actually, funny enough, on Twitch, Section 31 is a channel that plays all the classic Star Trek.
Speaking of Strange New Worlds, Mitch, what the fuck did you show me?
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
So it's the preview.
I'm really
for the
not
new
done
season
bitching
of
about
Strange New
Section
Worlds?
31.
Oh, okay. Well, we can continue ripping into that shit. Then hop to that one. Georgiou. Why is Georgiou this important character? Can we do someone else?
No, it's because they want to court a big name, Michelle Yeoh, and the reason, and even better, she's a big name that's not a man, and she's a big name that's not white. So they want to court this big name to have some sort of a clout for their poorly thought out project, because it's a poorly thought out project. They know it's a poorly thought out project. They know Michelle Yeoh is a draw for audiences, and they want to capitalize on that. And they hope that that's going to be enough to carry this show, because the show ain't going to be worth a damn.
Oh God. What up, Cannibalistic? Yo, Frosted Mash. Again, you're right. It's not going to be a big draw, but it's fucking Georgiou of all fucking characters.
It'll maintain STD's crowd. That's about it.
Both of them?
20 of them?
Yeah, all 7 of them.
I got to tell you, that crowd ain't so big.
No, it's not. So you're right. They don't know what they're doing, because like, why are you courting the people who are obviously don't give a shit, enough of a shit, or enough people who do give a shit don't care?
I mean, someone on the Star Trek Online forum, someone marked the anniversary of the cancellation of Star Trek Enterprise, and that was fucking over 10 years ago, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what gets me? You can make a good Section 31 movie, and it's rather easy. Have them officially forming, them rise into a greater threat, realize there's a greater threat, and we need to have a clandestine organization similar to the Tau Shiar. Have them.
That won't work. That won't work, because that. Well, it could work, but it would violate one of my rules.
Don't go back. Go forward.
Yeah, no prequels. That's the only problem I have with that, is that it would violate my no prequel rule.
Shit, you could have a spy versus spy type of scenario. The city order.
Well, that's what they're trying to do here, I think.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're trying to do here. They're trying to create a, they have to go undercover, so yeah, they're not going to wear Starfleet uniforms. That part I understand. And I totally, it's basically like like one of those first contact operations where you disguise yourself as a member of the
race.
Species you're with. Damn it. But this is, it looks like they just want to be edgy.
Shit,
they're trying desperately to dress like the cool kids.
You know what could be a cool thing to do, and it would bring together two series. Have them deal with Omega. Let us see the first time they've encountered Omega. You know.
But again, there we're going into the past.
Well, technically, it'd be around the same time.
I think what would be interesting, if you want to do a Section 31 thing, you develop a proper threat, and Section 31 is the only option.
Really quickly, let me read Nash's chat. You're going to love this. The current showrunner of Star Trek and Russell T. Davies are playing. No! Stop that! Stop talking. Go to jail.
I wouldn't mind
Not under Russell T. Davies.
seeing the like birth of Section 31. So like, as the birth of the Federation is like their constitution and everything, the charter is being signed and everything. Like, it's kind of in the background, and you have this like big political thriller kind of playing out in the background. But at the forefront, you see all the backroom deals being made. That, you know, the former Tellarite, Andorian, Vulcan, human intelligence operatives are going, we can't let this stand.
Maybe.
This is doomed to failure. We know how these shadows work. And these people here are all, and I'm speaking very like, you know, broad brush kind of things. Like, obviously you don't have to have one of every race, but bear with me. Where they say, you know, we know how things work in reality. If we let these wishy-washy politicians and bureaucrats be completely idealistic, this Federation will crumble.
Well, the problem there,
and go from there. But hold on. But to go from there and like show the birth of the, and then you can have things that are completely detached from the bigger goings on. You can have a mention of the Klingon Civil War or the Dominion War or this or that. Don't do member berries, but like, and it catapults them into, let's say, post-Dominion War, post-Romulus explosion, a relative time of peace. But there's no peace. The people who are at peace are the bureaucrats and the citizenry, where now all these clandestine operations, factions, even some within their own respective governments, like you have different, say, factions vying for the Obsidian Order's role and the Section 31's sort of role, blah blah blah, and have it deal with what is going on in the shadows, while the entire, you know, universe is like, or the galaxy is like, what do you mean? There is no war in Bossing Say. There's nothing wrong. Everybody's happy.
That's a good idea.
We've come greatly out of tragedy and everything's happy. Yet, motherfucker, you don't know shit. Go back to your presidential office and sit the fuck down.
It's not call it a shadow war.
Or not even a shadow war, but it's a war between factions vying for intelligence. You know.
It's a war behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he who controls the information is going to control the destinies of these places, and you're literally having people in groups vying for, you know, sections of the information spheres in different quadrants of our I shouldn't say quadrants, different sections of our quadrant, trying to fill up and take control of the intelligence lattice in that area, or in different areas. So it is, again, you're not making any. They're not going to plop down in the middle of, you know, Khitomer or the Klingon Civil War or any of these big events. What those events are going on or had been going on, and there was involvement in Section 31 that they call back to, but they don't necessarily have to show. I just think that showing the birth of Section 31 as a singular unit would be a very powerful sort of like opening. Okay, this is the landscape, this is how we're going, you know? But I agree, going backwards is
You could have it that
too difficult to want to do the payoff.
there was a threat to assassinate the delegation. Maybe the Romulan Tau TR was involved, and they were like, "Hey, if we let this shit go, the peace deals will fail. So we need to have people stationed."
Yeah, but I mean, I what I mean by like, there's no direct involvement is like, no, there was no shadow operation where the Federation actually caused the Khitomer massacre so that they could get a peace treaty with the Klingons. No, none of that bullshit. None of that bullshit. Do not fuck with the already established events, because the difficulty in which it would take to handle those kinds of things and not fuck over everything is too great for little to no payoff. Yes, would it be cool to but at the end, you know somebody's going to fuck that up. Even the best people are going to have a hard time dealing with that kind of interaction. No. Just have it. It's there. It's running in its own sort of like series of stories, untouched. These are the stories that are happening elsewhere.
Yes.
While things are going on.
I'm pick a random Mitch.
All right. Now follow me on this.
Okay.
Yes. Functional. You got to remember, Section 31 is not a Federation organization. It's a Starfleet organization. They weren't part of the Federation charter. They're part of the Starfleet charter.
Yes.
Which predates
because
the
Starfleet
Federation.
intelligence is Starfleet's intelligence apparatus, not Section 31.
Mm-hmm.
No, Section 31 is part of the Starfleet charter. That's where they derive their authority. Article 14, Section 31 of the Starfleet charter.
I thought that was just an unsubstantiated claim by
Sloan.
But yes, I'm following you. I stand corrected. It is Starfleet, not the Federation. My mistake.
Well, yeah, there is evidence to back it up because of what's his face, Malcolm Reed in Star Trek Enterprise was an operative of Section 31. And
yeah, he got
predates the Federation.
Yeah. Okay.
So there is evidence to back that up. Now
plan your attacks and save as many
I think we can do like
every loss is critical for my people.
If we do Section 31 as a movie, I think there's a way to do it.
All right.
You can even do it as a series, I believe.
It'd probably be better as a series.
You have to be smart in how you handle it. With your opening credits, that's where you tell the origin story. You know, and you know, look, there's Section 31. We got a little, hey, remember this piece from Star Trek Enterprise? Remember Sloan and blah 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 from DS9. And here's how we play it. Ever since Sloan was killed on Deep Space Nine, Section 31 has worked extra hard to stay out of the limelight.
They went underground.
Effectively, yeah. That way they could have the plausible deniability that Sloan was the villain. That Section 31 was a Sloan organization, and no one else was. What do you call it? Help me out here.
Sloan was the rogue element, and everybody under his Section 31 was just, you know, disgruntled employees.
Basically, yeah, they can use Sloan's death as their plausible deniability as far as the public is concerned.
Right.
Sure, there's going to be a couple of Starfleet people who are always going to be wary, but that's manageable. Dr. Bashir will always be wary. Dr. Bashir would probably figure it out. But as long as Section 31 wasn't causing any trouble, what could they do?
Yeah, he had
so
no
Section 31 lays low for a couple of decades. And then we have a new inciting situation where Section 31 has to get involved. And of course, you know, our version of this is not in the Kurtzman type universe. Romulus was never blown up. Because Romulus blowing up was stupid.
Yes.
I just think it would be such a powerful image of, like, you know, this human obvious seedy character, while the Starfleet, the new Starfleet, excuse me, the new Starfleet charter is being signed because it has to incorporate all these different, after the birth of the Federation, it has to incorporate whatever resources
Yeah, it had to incorporate all these new agents and
the member races into it, and it's just the guy's like looking out over from behind. Oh my god, sorry. From behind the curtain, and he's looking at the speaker and the roaring, clapping, and everybody's happy, and he just turns and he says, "They're fools. This will never survive." And so you hear a voice. What do we do about it? He just turns and he smiles. And you see the other person's a Vulcan, and he doesn't understand because he's a Vulcan, but the agent just smiles, and then boom, you immediately throw into whatever the story of the movie's gonna be, but that kind of sets up like the whatever we need to sort of mindset without literally saying whatever we need to, because that would just be cheesy.
Too on the nose.
Yeah. But see, here's the fun part too. If we're doing it as a series, and we're, Section 31 needs to be more active again. Then I mean, it's always active, but now it's got to step shit up because something's going down.
Mm-hmm.
We could play a lot of that off with a recruit, or one of the Section 31 operatives is being told. This is great actually, because now we can establish how Section 31 operates.
Shit, why don't we have a recruit?
I mean, they operate themselves like a militia or terrorist organization.
Yes.
Right.
Each cell reports to someone else, and that's how the chain of command works. It's not.
Yeah, you're only connected to any two cells at any given time. One to the left, one to the right of you, and you don't know who they connect to. So
exactly. So then we get to have this one person as part of a cell is being put into a supervisory position. Like, hey, look, this is going to be your operation. We need you to put together a list of assets, new assets that you want to employ. So he's basically a Sloan type character. It's really
he now has the title of director.
Yes. So he has to go out and find assets that he can either manipulate to join or to get them to join willingly.
Okay.
Just like what they tried to do with the Cure. Sloan was basically
trying to recruit him hard.
Yeah. But he wasn't trying to
employ him.
Say again?
He wasn't trying to
employ him.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to employ him. He was just trying to make him an asset.
Yes. And,
employment would be like an ongoing thing. No, he just wants to be able to call on him when he needs him. Like when they went to run.
He's a tool.
The structure would work like this. Within each cell, there are probably 4 or 5 directors. And above that director is a supervisor. So the directors report to the supervisor, but the directors make use of assets. And the assets know nothing except what the director wants them to know.
Okay.
And see, that's the cool thing with this idea. If we do it as a TV series, establish all of that, and basically have a foundation from which to work and to make a series that makes sense and still be a Star Trek show where people aren't just trying to look cool and use Shooty McRae gun.
Yeah. Hell, you could have it that, all right, so like you said, each cell has this operation, it has a director. And you can even have it that at some point cells accidentally work against each other without knowing they're working against each other because they don't know what the other's doing.
Right, because as a director, I don't know look, if each of us is a director,
Yes.
I don't know who your operatives are.
Yes.
You don't know who mine are, et cetera, and on and on it goes.
And even that, I don't know what operations you're trying to pull. Maybe I'm trying. I'm trying
Right,
to
because
stop.
we only discuss things with each other where our supervisor needs us to work together.
Yes.
Otherwise, we don't.
And maybe the supervisor role is more like, hey, I need you two to stop this operation and work together. But y'all really don't realize y'all are working against each other.
Right.
You know? Shit, you can even have that the supervisor is actually somebody within Starfleet itself. Like if there's a captain or maybe even an admiral. They don't know who that admiral is, but they know he's an admiral, or they're an admiral.
Maybe. Because, there's nothing that says, like with Sloan, he put Ross to work, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to say that an admiral wouldn't be a part of Section 31.
I mean, again, if they were recruited Bashir would still have been the doctor on DS9. He would just have to, like, hey, I gotta go do something, here's the authorization paperwork. Like, I gotta go. Shit.
And how much fun would it be to, we could start off the whole story with a flashback of Section 31 forming because they recognize a threat. Not Section 31 forming, but Section 31 at the signing of the Federation Charter. A Section 31 person getting together with Starfleet Intelligence, Andorian, Vulcan, etc., Tellarite, and being like, look, we got a problem, and it's a big one. There's a thing out there. We need to make it go away. So they agree to work together, and the thing goes away. We don't need to know all the details and the ins and outs of that story, but it establishes that there is a multi-species intelligence network in play.
I got one better for you. While you could even have it in the backdrop of the Federation forming and signing their paperwork, they're forming Section 31 in the sense of like, all right, we're agreeing to do this. Like we agreed to have one person over us while we operate in cells. You can have that like, hey, the Tellarites are going to do in the Tellarite sector, or their section, and and the Andorians will do it on their end, and while the Vulcans have theirs. But there is still someone over us, like coordinates.
Right. In fact, you could have the Section 31 guy in that early bit not revealed that he's Section 31.
Yes.
He's putting intelligence assets together to enhance Section 31's abilities with the new Federation members. But the Section 31 aspect is still kept relatively quiet.
Okay.
At least from those other participants, the new participants. But if we establish this threat, the Svengoolie, for lack of a better word, we establish the Svengoolie threat, and we can establish that it's been dealt with. But jump ahead a couple of hundred years, the Svengoolie threat has reemerged.
Okay.
But this time, they're wearing hats.
Okay.
So, now we have to address this new thing. Or at least a variation on an old thing, where the old methods may not work. So, Bill, put together a team of operatives and start sorting this shit out.
I am quite impressed with
Bill,
you.
you've just been named director.
At the end of the day, though, are we all kind of like of the mind that we don't really want a Section 31 show or movie or anything?
Agreed.
That's not what we really want. From
no
Trek.
one's going to do it right.
No. We're trying to. I understand. This is just a thought experiment. I'm just. I was getting that impression, but like I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, because I think we're all very passionate Star Trek fans who seem to know our shit and like our shit. And what we'd like is not more of the same, but
Right.
we'd like Star Trek back. We'd
Yes.
like to actually have something that we can look at and be like, oh, this is cool. This is Star Trek.
Yes.
Like like what we get with the Orville, which is, you know, it's inspired by, of course, but it's ultimately not Trek.
Well, it's not new Trek.
Well, no, I mean it's not like the brand name Star Trek.
Yeah.
It's got that veneer of Star Trek. It's got the spirit of Star Trek.
Yes.
But it is markedly so not Trek.
Yeah.
But it's in that spirit, in that feel, in that veneer. It is so much more Trek than anything post. What was the last show? Was it Enterprise or Voyager? Enterprise, right?
Enterprise.
Yeah,
Enterprise.
Enterprise.
Yeah, anything post Enterprise has just been.
Well, even I'm saying going back to season 7 or so of DS9 is when the degradation started. It really, if you want to look at seasons 1 and 2 of Next Gen, though that was bad too. But that was
I don't think so.
that was
I think it was just
finding a
suffered.
groove.
I think it just suffered more from. It was a product of its time kind of mentality, especially
yeah.
TNG season 1 and 2. But I don't think it was bad. But you know,
No, it
it
wasn't
just
bad,
a
but
difference of opinion.
It wasn't good either.
Oh, I loved it.
But I mean,
I loved it.
It was like I said, that
I'm
was.
I'm not saying it's the best of Trek. I'm not even saying it's some of the best of the mediocre Trek. I loved it. I loved.
Well, yeah, when it was
Mission,
when it came out, you couldn't drag me away because there were so many fewer options.
I mean, even today, not just when it aired. Like even today, I'm like I said, I watch it constantly on loop when we're in those early seasons. I'm kind of glued to it. Mission at Farpoint, I thought was really good for what it was. Again, you got to take into consideration it was a product of its time, and it's the next generation. These are brand new fucking characters. It's kind of hard working together when you don't have anything to base it off of. And
all they had was the original series, and Gene Roddenberry was still alive with some of his stupid ideas.
Yeah.
Like space pajamas.
All right, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And there's still one more we have to talk about, and that's the Strange New Worlds.
Oh, that sneak peek is just tragic.
Why
It's
are they?
abomination.
Why? Wait.
Go ahead, you're run.
I was just gonna say, like, there's some really like, just in season 1. I would say Heart of Glory, amazing episode. Hide and Q, Elementary Dear Data. Sorry, go. Like I'm just drawing to the you know that there are still so many, like, you think about these episodes, they're iconic, but then when somebody says, oh well, season 1 wasn't that great, or I know a lot of people who do say it was crap, I'm like, yeah, but like this was a great episode. It's because they're thinking of shit, what's that one the episode? Fuck.
Let's just say in that era of TNG, the main fact is they were finding their footing still. They were looking for their groove, and they hadn't quite found it yet. And as a result, you've got a few things that stand out in the way that Alan Moraine does.
Yes.
Oh yeah. But that's insanity in the middle of something that's kind of an interesting idea of an episode. But but it's so silly. And don't get me wrong here, it's so silly and so just like beyond the pale. You're just kind of like, okay, this ruins the entire episode. But what's that one episode? Is it Heart of Glory? No, it's not Heart of Glory.
Gateway opening at 7 o'clock. Gateway opening at 4 o'clock.
The one. Fuck, I'm trying to think of it. Um,
It'll hit you when you least expect it.
It tends to.
Code of Honor, Code of Honor, Code of Honor. And
Oh, yeah.
you know, they go to the Africa planet, and I'm like, I'm okay with that. People today are like, oh my god, it's so great. No, it's not. You know why? Because like the very next season, there's the Irishman planet, and nobody had a fucking peep about that.
But you know what gets me? They were kind of, I can
Because
see
you know,
people
hold
doing
on.
that. Human
Exactly, it makes sense that a culture from the world as we know it today, once space travel like that, colonizing the universe becomes a possibility. There would be some like Ugandan tribe who's like, yes, we will go to space and we will colonize this planet here.
And we will fuck off from everyone else. Like, leave us alone.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happens to the fucking Irishmen. And I don't know if you noticed, but the other side of them, even though they didn't have British accents, they were very German British.
Yeah.
In their attitudes toward a lot of things. Let's just say.
Well, but remember, I just want to make it clear so everyone's. I want to make sure everyone's clear on this. The Code of Honor planet, that wasn't an Earth colony. That was an alien society. But it's an interesting idea, and it's a common method of operation to take a society from Earth and imagine it being a spacefaring culture.
Shit, look at
In seeing, but a spacefaring culture that operates by the rules of Earth Society X.
look at Stargate and the Gaul. Technically, the opening season of Gaul, they were Egyptians, right? Egyptian esque. Ship design, right? Pyramid like, even their fucking weaponry and architecture. So yes, it is common to take something. Hey, let's use the Egyptians to base a species off of. You know?
Right.
Let's use space Romans, essentially.
But I was just about to say they've done that before, where there's these alien cultures that are, analog to our cultures, but like specifically human societies that have branched off into the universe that are like based off of like that's to me that's the most like anti-racist thing you can do.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they're basically just keeping true to that culture's identity.
Yeah. Now, see,
only they've advanced alongside the rest of humanity, but now they're upholding their cultures, their traditions, things like their wardrobe, how they talk, their accents, their histories, their stories from ancient Earth, blah 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 blah. Blah. It's all there, and it's all flourished. How is that a bad thing? Again, even it doesn't even have to be Code of Honor. It could also be the Irish guys, the Irish, the Bring Loidy. The Bring Loidy were fantastic. I loved laughing at the Bring Loidy.
Oh God, yeah.
Because it was like, yeah. You know what? If the cast of Ireland decided to go into space, this is exactly what I would expect.
Yeah, I mean.
Did you have to show them the little contraption in the wall? No, I won't get a lick of work out of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say right down to
the foot washing. Yeah. That's my wife.
Thank you for
fire Irish woman.
Space, Auntie.
What?
Campbell's the wizard.
I completely lost my train of thought.
Tear has that effect on people. He's worse than marijuana poisoning.
I am. Alright, well, I don't know about that Strange New Worlds shit, man.
Okay, let's talk Strange New Worlds, because I've seen it a couple times. It was filmed here. I tried to actually get on the show as an extra background. I got one call back to play a cop, but it was just conflict of interest. Not playing the cop, just other things going on. I couldn't commit to the time. Blah 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 blah.
No, I was saying, like, Mitch told me about a Strange New World teaser for the upcoming season, and dear God, it's fucking horrible.
I'll have to watch it.
It's not a teaser, it's a preview.
Oh, preview.
The problem though is that was the least of the worst of the new, whatever you want to call it, Kurtzman Trek or JJ Trek or New Trek. Like, it was the least offensive out of all of them, but it still had so much, like, I just wanted to throttle.
Wait a minute, how did your hair change? Because your fucking DNA did. And
What?
so in the preview, they
To be clear, what you're saying, the hairstyle changed.
yeah, the hairstyle changed.
Okay. I'm gonna Strange New World Season 3. Okay, you know what? Give me like 3 minutes to watch this, because I need to watch it.
Oh, fine. Yeah.
Go right ahead.
You guys can carry on, but I'm gonna just mute myself for oh god, it's 5 minutes.
You're gonna hate yourself on every.
I have to be informed to know the conversation.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about it until you get back.
Talk about what?
Hey, Rodney.
Strange New Worlds sneak peek, one of the season 3 episodes.
Strange. Is this an anime or is this something?
No, it's Star Trek.
Star Trek live action.
Oh, Star Trek. Oh.
Yeah, we're Star Trek.
I mean, that's kind of the point of space. Playing a Star Trek game, I mean...
Well, we talk about entertainment more so than just Star Trek
That whole thing of one could easily correlate. That's what you would talk about, would be Star Trek from time to time.
Let's make it a little interesting then while we're waiting.
Okay.
Do you think that Citizens Confederation has Second Amendment protections, or the equivalent?
No, I don't.
Do what?
All right, so with the disparate cultures that are combined, it would be their concept would try to equal unification in a sense. So having like Second Amendment protection would be kind of, I mean, even though, wait a minute. Now, I can't hear what you said. Now, I would assume that starships could have phaser banks.
Energy levels in the sphere are rising.
What did you say, Ron?
I haven't said anything. I was scratching my ear.
Okay.
I could see specific planets in the Federation having, a planetary Second Amendment on the whole thing, but it's not going to apply to people who are in Starfleet themselves, if I'm remembering what the actual name of the thing is.
That's just it.
Sensor readings show that the
When we
ship
watch
is
Star
entering
Trek,
the
we don't
gateway.
really see but small glimpses of Federation society.
The ship is towards core
I mean,
All we see huge glimpses of Starfleet.
I mean,
And
it
that's
wasn't like
that's far different from taking a look at a culture. What am I saying? At a citizenry. It's far different from looking at a citizenry. Because we're looking at the military arm. Of course, they're going to be armed.
yeah, but if you look at the two-parter where the changes attack Earth,
Yeah.
it wasn't like the citizens were also armed. It was just the military. You know?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they don't have the right.
True.
They may have simply chosen not to be.
I mean, even they were also saying like certain ships couldn't have weapons. Like when Lakona was trying to get phaser banks for her ships. So I don't know.
Well, I think that was a different grade of phaser banks as well. You're talking about the Vulcan arms dealer.
Yeah, when she went to Quark and Quark schooled her.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but she was also not. She wasn't a Federation citizen at that point either. I don't know what the.
Oh well, they were Marquis, so they were just yeah.
Yeah, they're basically under the authority of the Cardassian Union, which was part of the problem because Starfleet did, the Federation did in fact abandon them.
Yes.
Even though that's the funny part is they were still Starfleet, or God damn it, they were still Federation citizens, but the Federation ran out on them so that they were under the authority of the Cardassian Union. I'd be pissed too. You know, it's kind of like leaving the southern border open so that all the foreign operatives can come run roughshod over your life and family and land.
Yeah. Functional's back.
Oh yeah.
Functional.
You know,
Okay.
or as I say, or
like
as I say,
the premise.
freaking other countries own property in our country, especially near military bases, specific military bases.
Yes.
Deep breath, functional. Deep breaths.
I already had a deep breath. I like the premise. It is a Star Trekian premise. However, everything surrounding that, they all fucking suck. I hate them so fucking much. So you're telling me that pre the TOS era, medical science is even more advanced than arguably one of the smartest doctors who ever graced Starfleet, Julian Bashir's ability to change somebody's appearance?
Yes.
That used not only genetic resequencing, but also surgical techniques. It was a combination of drugs and surgery, not just some magical serum that, you know, changes the way they look, the way their entire genetic structure and their hair for some reason, like you said.
I got the impression, and I could be wrong, but the way they talk about that serum, it sounded to me like it was something they weren't entirely familiar with.
It sounds
Some
like
alien
magic.
serum, yeah. But I mean, yeah, that's the downside. It sounded more like magic than it did even the pseudoscience of Star Trek. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hopping in another random.
Right on.
I don't.
Well, they claim that 4 1/2 Vulcan. They claim that they're more Vulcan than Spock because of the serum, or after the serum takes effect. But they do that slow walking. Pike does a flourish with the Lurpa.
Yeah. Well,
that's real logical.
Racks the phaser in the hallway. It's like, yeah. This is super logical.
But it gets me. It's the same problem I had when they turned Spock human. He should not have forgotten how to be a Vulcan, and they shouldn't have forgotten how to be human.
Well, that was going to be my next point, in a sense that just because you are Vulcan, you have to remember, and we've seen it before. We even had an entire episode dedicated to flushing this out with Tuvok.
Oh.
Where they are taught at a very early age to be the masters of their emotions and keep them in check. Now, sometimes people are late bloomers, like Tuvok, and they have to go for special training because they know it's basically a death sentence for the person, because they know that Vulcan is either going to go insane or get themselves killed.
Yep.
Or kill themselves or whatever, because they just cannot they go into it so much in so many of the different series that if they don't control their emotions, they turn into savages.
Yeah, at
they
some
go
point,
crazy.
Early, even from the beginning, before Spock and the Vulcan thing was fleshed out, and they fleshed it out fairly quickly, I think.
Yeah.
There was a line in the episode of the original series where no one has gone before, or where no man has gone before, where Kirk says to Spock while they're playing chess, "You play an irritating game of chess, Mr. Spock." Something to that effect. Spock says, "Irritation? Ah, yes, one of your Earth emotions."
Mm-hmm.
As if geography changes
irritation,
emotions, you know. But that was a very early episode too. So that was, as it should be, quietly retconned into Vulcans develop controls for their emotions because their emotions really are that much more severe than ours.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, there are episodes like Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Uh, the the Vulcan captain, he clearly showed irritation. It's not like they have perfect control. He was irritated, you know.
Yes.
And some of the best interactions that other races of Starfleet have, particularly humans, because we do have a wide variety and array of emotions. Like how did he put it? At sometimes you're as wild as Klingons, but at other times you show the wisdom and logic of a Vulcan. Like, I mean, it's true because we are such a, and I'm saying diverse as in diverse of thought. We are as diverse of thought as we are with our emotions,
Yes.
and the way that we sometimes, we humans and other races, Dax is not obviously not human, but she's still, some of the best interactions we have with Vulcans are when we get them to show that chink in their armor.
Yes.
Again, showing that they're not just a perfect race of superhuman, super strong, super intelligent, like supermen. No, they do also have their vulnerabilities and their
Well, yeah, like Spock said to Saavik in Star Trek 6. Not Saavik. Valeris. When he said to Valeris, logic is the beginning of wisdom, not the end.
Yes.
Shit. You could see if you go again using that example, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Cisco revealed like he read a whole paper. He was gloating. That's not a Vulcan thing, That's not perfect control.
Well, yeah, that captain was really something of a racist when you think about it.
Oh yeah, he was a complete
But he was lording over the fact that he was lording over Cisco. He saw Cisco as either a rival or an irritant, and he had to be put in his place. That's a logical Vulcan would be like, okay, I beat you, and
and that's again what was so great about Ben's interaction with him is that he controlled his emotion. Now he didn't suppress his emotion, but he controlled his emotion to express him and the rest of the crew through positive emotions, having a good time, laughter, camaraderie, like all these other positive emotions. And it really got to him because the captain he found it illogical. He found it illogical because to him, the logical emotion would be to be upset. You're being beaten. You're being, and carry on how Cisco has reacted to him over the years. But this time, not this time. This time, Cisco wins.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
and he didn't do anything different. He realized like it's just a game. If he won, he won. It's not gonna change anything. It's still my game.
And the best part is, Cisco galled him by basically by evolving.
Yep.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Like I said, controlling his emotions so that his expression of the emotions were antithetical to what logic would dictate.
Right.
And that's what made it so brilliant. Is Cisco knew, and he even says, he's never going to beat them in a physical contest. He made that realization way long ago when he wrestled this guy, but and he couldn't beat him in wits and logic, so he has to play a different game.
Tactics.
Yeah.
Tactics. Yes. And use the tactics of being able to control his emotions, like you said, evolve in a sense, and break his logic. What was the
shit?
He was
cheering up everybody. Like Cisco, hey,
Solok, Captain Solok.
Yeah. We lost. Yeah, but if they were human, we'd have won because you played a good game, kid. You're right, Dad. I played a good game.
It goes deeper than that. Cisco outmaneuvered him by thinking tactically, and you can see the aha moment when he told Rom to get back in the game.
Yeah.
That was the aha moment for Cisco, I think.
And then the coup de grace was bringing back the crowd.
Yeah, like we're not having fun. Like this game's gonna be fun. I'm letting you play my. I'm letting you make the game I love, not fun for me.
Of course, it's also
It's one of the reasons I stopped playing Star Trek Online.
Oh hey!
it's also one of the reasons the greatest line in that episode is when Worf's when they're doing the training for the game, and Worf shouts out, "Death to the opposition."
Yeah,
I
that's the
think-
opposition.
No, I think Worf's best line was, "Captain, I protest. I am not a merry man."
Oh, we're talking about a specific episode, though.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But we're talking
No,
about
but
this
This furry
game.
bastard.
Taking
I think
out
it might
all
be
of
best.
them.
Furry
I
bastard.
think that's his best. That's his best all-round.
Protect them from the.
Oh yeah, that is his best. That's
Definitely
his
feel
absolute
aggression,
best
sir.
line.
I mean, obviously his best episode, was that one episode where he did the thing with the guy that's got the face.
You know,
No,
the
no,
episode-
no. I think his best episode was where, yeah, Deanna Troy gets taken over by the alien and beats him up. Oh wait, that was every episode.
I don't know Star Trek, so I was just fucking throwing some
Get over
bullshit.
there. Head to
I think Worf was best when they brought him over to DS9 and he was allowed to be badass.
He was allowed to play the character because they actually wrote the character as a character and not the guy who gets beaten up by the alien of the week.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he was kicking ass. Like him with his necklet just fucking up Pyongyang on the goddamn ship. Just on the bridge.
But I mean, that was part of the genius in writing Worf, in that you do see him get beat up, but that's to show how outclassed even Worf is, who is one of the best, tactical fighters.
Well, that's what they kept saying, but every episode where he's supposed to be in his element, he gets beaten up, which basically
that's
says
what-
he's not.
But
No,
that's
he
what,
doesn't.
TNG,
Yeah.
TNG, he was a two-dimensional character.
He wasn't as fleshed out, especially in the earlier seasons. But I mean, he's the one leading the Klingon martial arts class. He does
Well,
do
that's-
those
that's
insane
really-
training programs that you.
That's
Yeah, and he was
really
outclassed by
fleshing him out
Diamond.
because that's really fleshing him out because that's what you'd expect him to do.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, but that's not fleshing him out. That's just
No. I'm not saying it's fleshing him out. I'm just saying it's a part of a very, very basic character. I'm agreeing
Yeah.
with you. I'm not saying he's fully two-dimensional, but I mean, he's got a little bit more than maybe 2.5 dimensions.
Yeah.
Like he's not fully fleshed out by this point, but he's
I
also
mean,
not just a cardboard cutout like
Yeah.
someone like Tasha Yar.
Tashi, I wasn't cardboard cutout, but she suffered from
She
the same
was. Hey, I'm a
finish.
security officer. Oh, this one time at band camp, yeah, I was raped.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say
That's
she was as two-dimensional as Worf was, and that's why Denise Crosby left because they weren't making any more of a character.
Yeah, which was, to her detriment, because that's what they wanted to do next, is they wanted to build on the security character. And since they got rid of Denise, they were like, okay, well, now that Thorne is,
Worf there.
moving in that role, we're gonna have to rethink our strategy because A, he's not female, B, he's not even fucking human, he's a completely different alien, and so you see them kind of like toying with but then you don't really get into Worf until the whole Kalar angle, and subsequently with like Alexander and exploring his Klingon heritage, because you
And they
remember one of the
could have
very
actually-
first episodes of
And they really
Lori, he's somehow like even though he was raised by humans, he knows like almost everything about Klingons. No,
Wait. We'll read this real quick. Campbell says Picard's best Iron Boys. Shut up, Wesley.
I thought that was his only line. But no, they really could have built up on Worf with the KLR character
could have
being
done a lot
introduced.
more.
But they just fell back on stereotypes that they're built for the character and the character's race.
I really wish they
And
would
let's
have
re-
did more with
let's face it. Even as a Klingon, they didn't develop him enough. I mean, you see other Klingons, right, who were on the show for 5 minutes. They had more character than Worf did.
I don't know about that, because like I said, with the introduction of the Kalar angle, that's when they started to give him a little bit more to do, and you basically have Kalar challenging him and saying, "You were raised by humans." You basically have this storybook image of what a Klingon or our people are, and I'm telling you that's not true. You're living basically a fairy tale of what Klingons are, and you have to learn. And when you do, you'll learn a lot of it is bullshit, or a lot of it is just stupid pomp and circumstance of basically what is a religion that has been stagnant for the last 2,000 years.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, that worked.
I'm not saying it's enough. I'm not saying it was enough.
No.
It took them not only TNG, but all the way through DS9 to develop this one character.
Oh, yeah. And AA is another one, and Mitch agrees with me on this one. Captain Jellicoe was a far better captain than Picard ever could be.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough.
Very correct, actually.
No, because Jellicoe was a pragmatist. He was a hardliner. He was very military, hierarchy oriented, and like just a pragmatist. Like everything has to be bang, 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 which you need in certain circumstances. However, with the flagship being hold on, let me finish my thought. With the flagship being mostly a diplomatic representation of Starfleet, you did need the statesman more times than not.
It was supposed to be, it was a flagship, but it was primarily supposed to be a ship of exploration, which it rarely, if ever, did. But Jellicoe was
mostly the exploration found them, which is kind of the ironic.
Yeah, but Jellicoe was still a better captain. He could do the diplomacy stuff. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the position. I mean, even with Kirk, he had to be able to be a diplomat as well. And Kirk was very good at being a diplomat, actually.
I disagree simply for the fact that Picard was captain of the Enterprise, not Jellicoe.
Jellicoe was captain of the Enterprise.
For like 5 minutes, yes.
It doesn't matter. He was still captain of the Enterprise. Picard was a bad choice. He wasn't. No, in that setting, in that organisation, you need to be military, because there are times, quite a few times, more often than you're going to be diplomatic, more often than you're going to be exploration, that you've got to be military.
Oh, I agree, and that's why Sisko is my favorite captain out of all of them.
The Next Generation lot, yes. What the hell do you call it?
Well, no, it's my personal, like, he was my favorite captain of all of them.
And what the hell do you call her again? Janeway was the worst.
Oh, God.
Oh, Janeway was a genocidal maniac.
Janeway was the franchise's attempt to make a female Kirk.
Yeah, but she ended up being a genocidal maniac that would destabilize entire series of systems.
She also wasn't a command officer. She was a tyrant.
All right.
I really wish they'd have gotten someone else to play her too.
I really wish they'd have had this. Remember what they did with Ranting and the Equinox?
Actually, I wish that when they found her and Paris as two amphibians on that alien planet that just left them that way.
Yeah. Again, that was a dumb ass episode that made no fucking sense.
Most of Voyager's episodes were dumbass episodes.
I'll agree.
I mean, it suffered badly from bad science fiction.
It had a good premise. Lost in Space meets Star Trek. Perfect.
It was too
scenario.
campy.
It was what?
It was too campy. And it suffered a lot of that until the last couple seasons when they started getting help from some of the people who were writing and developing DS9. So once DS9 wrapped, they got 6 or 7 of the creative staff over to help them like close out Voyager, because these idiots, like they kept the show basically going. It wasn't offensive, but they kept it going.
Yeah.
And now they needed to close it out, and they had no idea.
Yeah, and the whole Ocampa thing.
God.
That was a bad science fiction idea. The race that ages in 9 years, yet it still has full human intelligence.
Or I got one better for you. A race that is rather advanced when their lifespan is so short.
Yeah,
And
they shouldn't have had human intelligence either. They shouldn't have been as intelligent as a fucking as your average mouse.
And the kitchen rat should have died when they stole his lungs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Neelix is okay. Confession time. I think Neelix is a worse character than Wesley.
Marginally.
Hard disagree. I agree Neelix is an annoying character, but Neelix Neelix got moments that Wesley didn't.
Yeah,
that's true.
Neelix you could respect for having a pathos behind him.
Also, Neelix was well capable of standing up to adversaries that he knew were going to kick his fucking ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I forget the guy's name when he retook the ship from the Kazon. When the Kazon attacked and he had to disable the warp core, and Neelix fucking hit him with the pipe and tossed him in the warp core. I forget the guy's name.
Yes.
I'm not defending Wesley.
The Kazon, yes, the Kazon. You know what the Kazon were, won't you? Don't you? Yeah. Let's have Klingons. Let's have Klingons, but they're not Klingons.
Yeah, they're trailer park Klingons.
Yeah.
Trailer park Klingons, yeah.
But you could have a warrior race that is a warrior race that doesn't have the Klingon aesthetic. Maybe their concept of
look at the Hirogen.
Why
more ritualistic.
Hold on. Why do you have to have a warrior race?
I mean, again,
you don't have to be a warrior race. I mean, look at the Hirogen. The Hirogen were just hunters. Like,
yeah, I mean,
and they were again one of my favorites. I know they were.
I like the Hirogen as well, but they made no sense either. Just like a warrior. I mean, you look at human society. You look at human civilizations. You don't have a warrior civilization.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Like who?
Spartans.
They weren't a civilization. The Spartans were one city in a civilization.
Okay, the Norwegians, the Vikings were warrior.
They weren't a civilization. They were a culture, but they weren't a civilization. But even then, they weren't entirely a warrior culture. Yes, they had that aspect, but that was only like a part of it, and that wasn't all the time.
Truthfully, we didn't get much flushed out from them, aside from the fact that hunters.
Yeah.
The only way we get any more past that here is
In
something.
order to get into their version of heaven, you have to die in combat.
That's actually a fallacy. Most of them were farmers. Most of them died at home. A lot of times through overworking themselves on the farm.
What are you talking about?
The Norse. That's a fallacy, mainly made up by the Victorians and heavily embellished by Hollywood.
They were still. There was still a great.
They were warlike, but they were what you'd really call a warrior race, which a warrior race is where everybody in that society is a warrior.
But you're also comparing the difference. Yes, those are needs to now when you fast forward to the 24th century and technology basically supplants those kinds of roles in a society. And this is a testament to the the greatness of what they did with the Klingons is that they showed you that there were scientists and doctors, but
Yeah.
they weren't honorable. They weren't, glorified like the warriors, but they existed. There were
Which
farmers. There
doesn't
were
Yeah,
makes
yes,
sense.
yes. Which means that they're not a warrior, what you would call a warrior race, because there's whole different facets of them, right? There's farmers, there's scientists, there's
One
there's
second,
merchants.
Batman, hold up. If you're gonna
What?
say in that thing for it to be a warrior race, that every single person would have to be a warrior, that can't exist to begin with, because again, as they said, they would still need to have that, but they would have to subjugate another
Yeah,
one
I
of
know,
them.
I know. And this
And
is
again,
what
that's
I'm
what the
arguing.
Klingons
This is
did.
what
They
I'm,
did subjugate lesser, air quotes, lesser species to
this
serve
is-
their needs, like how
yeah.
they got most of their ship designs, how they got most of their weaponry, how they got most
But
of their.
but they still did that shit themselves as well.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the Klingons weren't just. Yeah, they didn't just have warriors. I mean,
Well,
they even
nobody's
showed
saying
this
that.
in,
We're just
in
saying
the
that
original
they're
series. But what I'm saying,
their prime culture was centered around being a warrior because that was the dominant ethos.
the prime culture of the ones we saw, which were mainly the noble houses or the people who fought for the noble houses. But what I'm saying is most science fiction franchises which have a warrior culture, that's all they fucking are. Everybody's a warrior.
I mean, all right, you got a simple cult like the Ferrani or the merchant class. They're merchants. They're greedy capitalists.
Yeah, which that's another thing that just
And the
doesn't.
Dozai are greedy capitalists.
But that's again, that's just the dominant ethos of the culture behind the race.
None of it makes sense. Okay.
No.
Now, the Klingons claim to value honor and claim to be a warrior species. Which, if that were true, then those Klingons who were farmers would be just head over heels with honor because they would be basically allowing the warriors to gain honor at their expense.
Yeah,
So
They would
kinda
make me
like
consider-
the
even
samurai
food.
class.
worse, much worse. They were Klingons who weren't warriors would not be considered Klingons, for one thing.
Right, and that's where the whole thing breaks down.
Yeah.
The unifying principle,
Uh,
a warrior ethos. If you don't respect the contribution, guys who work in the fucking motor pool to keep you mobile, of the people who keep you fed, the people who look after your physical health after you've been injured. If you don't honor that work, you're not really a warrior culture. You're a culture of fucking assholes.
yeah. I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh yeah, that's the one. The Klingons going on about honor. You look at the Klingons in Kirk's era, right?
Yeah.
If you tried to install a cloaking device on one of their ships, they would have killed you. Because it's dishonourable. It's cowardly. They wanted to be seen. The Klingons in Next Generation, we got cloaking devices to sneak up on our enemies. That's not honourable. That's a coward's way of fighting.
Yeah, but see, you gotta remember, things change.
And here's another thing. Here's another thing. In Star Trek Online, one of my characters was an original series style Klingon, right? Because those Klingons apparently still exist even in the Next Generation. And had an argument with one of the Ridgehead types. And role-playing, I beat him. If you look back 100 years, yeah, when my people were the ones in the Klingon, yeah, in the starships, we were the ones going out there. The Empire was more stable. It expanded. It had it had more power. Then you people took over again. The Empire shrank. It's fragmented. Nobody knows what's going on.
So basically, to use the old cycle of hard men create soft.
Yeah.
Good times create soft men. Soft men create hard times create great men.
Kind of, but in this one, it was his kind of Klingon was better.
Well, that's because if you want to look at that whole thing, everyone thinks that they're better than those.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
well,
but-
our guys
like
are more
80%.
good than your guys.
Yeah, but when you look at the hard facts, is the Klingon Empire in Kirk's time was bigger than it was in Picard's time, and it was a lot more stable as well. And the main type of Klingons were the human type.
But then again, those were augments too.
Not quite,
Well,
because
no,
they
they
didn't
weren't.
have.
They just had the side effect of the virus.
Yeah, they had human DNA in them.
Yeah.
It was probably the human side which made them better.
See, now you're doing it. Our guys are better than your guys.
Well, actually, no. James Cowley did it on one of the Star Trek Phase 2 episodes.
Yeah, I believe he did.
Yeah.
It just amuses me that in science fiction they tend to pick these bizarre ideas for unifying principles, like being hunters.
Yeah.
And the weirdest part is not that they tie it to a culture, they tie it to a species, like they did with the Vulcans. For some reason, like we saw in that sneak preview for that episode of season 3, Strange New Worlds, logic is a race trait of the Vulcans.
Oh, they did that.
In fact, it isn't.
They did that in TNG when they encountered those proto Vulcans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
pick
that's
another,
not how the Vulcan.
Right on.
Yeah, that's not how the I mean, when you watch the original series, you know that's not how the Vulcans work.
No, the Vulcans, that's a discipline. That's not a race trait. That's not like humans having 5 fingers, for fuck's sake. It's
Shit,
nothing
you've got
like
5
that.
fingers, you freak.
Damn right.
Cultural,
And they
it's
do
not
it with the
genetic.
pronouns.
Yes.
They do it with
Actually,
pronouns, they do it with
the genetic
pronouns, they do it
disposition
with-
for most humans is to have 6 fingers, but it's been evolutionary advantageous to keep 5.
in any
From one
case.
of the things I heard.
I doubt that very much. Every primate in existence only has 4 fingers and a thumb.
It's a result of high fructose corn syrup consumption.
Yeah.
But
I think
do
Rotten
the same
Corpse has
thing.
just got 6 fingers
they
and trying to
confuse-
justify it.
They confuse.
I was watching something on Roanoke Gaming that he was bringing up, and I can't remember it exactly. So,
Oh, he's brilliant. I like him. Except if he's doing anything about the supernatural, and he keeps going on, this can't be supernatural when it blatantly is.
well, that's because for him, he's trying to do that whole thing of looking at it through a
Yeah.
non-supernatural biological way. So, like, that's like the whole thing of when he did the episode on Gremlins, and
I haven't seen that
he's
one.
like, there's actually a whole lore about this where it's discussed of how they came to be. He's like, so
Not this
Let's
one.
get started.
I'm gonna do this one on Gremlins, which is a similar looking, like has everything the same. It's like very similar, but I'm gonna make up stuff about it so I can justify this episode because crap.
Oh, I've got a question for you, which I posed to Mitch, and unfortunately he couldn't answer it. Have any of you seen Night of the Comet?
No, can't.
1984, 1985 film. Basically, this comet, which hasn't turned up since the dinosaurs died out, turns up, right?
Mhm.
The vast majority of human beings out witnessing it get turned to dust.
Yeah,
Some people who weren't quite shielded, it's happening to them, but a lot slower, right?
Operations is locked down.
Right, and you remember what they look like, the people who were like dying, right? And how they acted.
No. I just remember from that thing because I found a random page on that one IMFDB to where it's like 2 of the characters use submachine gun pistols. Technically, one is like Mac 10s. And like, Daddy would have bought us Uzis.
Yeah, because it kept jamming. But well, jump forward to Fallout 3 and the Fallout franchise. I think they stole the feral ghouls off that, and also another comet-related one, Life Force.
Ah, Lord.
If you haven't seen Life Force, you should.
Vampire.
Yeah,
what do you call it? Makes out
Yes.
with Patrick Stewart.
Colin. Yeah, based on a book by Colin Wilson, which the book, I mean, the film's good, but the book is far better. Unfortunately, the guy who wrote, give it the title, The Space Vampires.
That's what. Okay, well, I have to look it up then because I would love to see what it's like in the
Oh, and here's something else I would have done with TNG. I would have given Patrick Stewart a 2-year contract, right? And I would have had the entire one of the running subplots would be Riker getting closer and closer to becoming captain.
Okay.
I would have retired Picard.
And who would you have
I
take Riker's place?
I would have left that up to the writers. I wouldn't have been fucking Troy, that's for sure.
Well,
I don't understand why the fuck Troy was on the bridge.
She shouldn't have been on the bridge.
Like,
Yeah, that never made any sense.
It should have been Data in that third seat
Yeah.
because he's second officer. So it would make sense that he's in the third position.
Yeah, I mean, Troy's absolutely useless. I mean, her and her fucking delayed reaction empathy.
Who's conveniently never around when they need to find out if somebody's lying or not, unless it's convenient for the story.
And and half the time when she is around when somebody's lying, she doesn't get it until after the fucking got away with a lie.
The lie's already been discovered.
Yeah. Captain, I detect hostility from that ship.
Oh!
What gave you that idea, Counselor? Was it when they fired the photon torpedoes or the phasers?
Or when they started powering up their weapons. I think it was that part.
It's funny because I was just watching the episode where Troy's like, "I want to be a bridge officer."
I never understood how her abilities worked over fucking subspace and like in communications.
What gets me is that bridge officer test. She took it 3 times in a row and failed 3 times in a row, right? Pretty much one day after the other, right?
Yeah.
That's not how those tests
Team America
work.
was taken of with the Asian who was supposed to be an empath. Was that person? You know, because if you remember in Team America World Police, they had the one that that's female empath. She's like, I sense you're confused.
Yes, that is
No shit. He got put into an area. He knows none of these people.
Yep. Right. Yeah, she went through that fucking bridge like 3 times in 3 days. Right? That's not how that kind of test works. You fail it, you'll have to wait 6 to 12 months to take it again. And the third time she passed because Riker basically gave her the answer. She should not. She cheated. She cheated. Yeah, and she cheated. Like she failed 3 times when she should have only taken it once, like every 6 or 12 months. I mean, can you imagine you doing your finals for like high school, failing them, and getting to sit them again the following day, and then the day after that until you got them right?
And even then, I only got it right because the teacher just, took pity on me and was wanting to leave.
Yeah. I mean, with modern day high schooling, it wouldn't be too surprising.
And there's another one that gets me about the Next Generation. You've got this fucking starship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which could at any time be ordered into a highly dangerous situation. Mm-hmm. So what do? You let the crew take the families on board.
Well, obviously, it's supposed to be like a Tiger Cruise, like the Navy does and whatnot, so where they bring their family out there for that whole thing. Because obviously, you can just, when things get dangerous, just beat them.
Where you're in the middle of space, five Klingon ships show up, all of them firing. Where are you going to beam them? Onto the Klingon ships?
Yes, just
maybe.
To enemy fire.
You can imagine it, Picard, right? We're going into a situation now. It's going to be tense. 70% chance that the ship's going to be destroyed. Oh, that's great! All the crew with family members aboard mutiny.
Well, wait a minute. It gets even better. You know why? Because look, there's no one to grieve them, and so we're good. Like, hey.
Billy, come here. You get to see how these ships work and how we're gonna die horribly. Come on, come and see it. Quickly into your mother. Come here.
Repair
Honey,
all
why are
exotic
we getting on board this warship? Because I have to leave.
I mean, in the mirror universe, we know why they send the families on board ships is because they want rid of somebody high up wants rid of an entire line of this guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
all exocomps are operational. They're continuing to hack the system.
Actually, I doubt they do that in the mirror universe.
They probably would take. Honestly, more like they would take them hostage and like hold them.
That works. No, that works. That works well.
Yeah,
System hack is 50%. Keep those
it's sort of like
exocomps.
how in the old days you would exchange like a son or a daughter between like two rival nations as a guarantee for peace.
And then you go, haha, fooled you. It's not our son we've exchanged with you. It's the son we kidnapped that you didn't know about.
It's your own son, you asshole!
Ah, well, you've told us now.
Your exocomp at console gamma is offline. Fix it.
Well, we still got your other son now.
And there's a reason why I didn't act like I don't know that kid. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yes, you do have my other son. But I gave you that son because that's the son I hate.
And I was
Because
hoping you killed him.
he's a result of my wife having an affair with my brother. So yeah, kill him.
I sent them to you so you kill him.
Repair all exocomps to restart the
Like, we have your other son. Well, are you going to shoot him or am I supposed to shoot him? I don't like the fucker to begin with.
Bang! Data!
Fully functional.
And then
Repair
Tommy
all
correct.
exocomps to restart the security system hack.
Oh yeah, that would have been funny, wouldn't it? Deanna Troy gives birth to a not Deanna Troy. Tasha Yar gives birth to a calculator.
Ah, Jesus Christ! And that would change, you know, see like.
It's the 24th century. Come on, she gives birth to a tricorder with eyeballs on it, googly eyes on it.
You know, the best thing is you look at it. I mean, if you asked Dr. Crusher what a woman was, she'd just tell you straight off, wouldn't she? So they've solved that problem.
Yeah.
And before you say anything, we just said Dr. Crusher, not Gates McFadden.
Alright, I got a question for you, Batman. Pulaski or Crusher? Pulaski or Crusher?
For what reason?
Which one was better, Pulaski or Crusher?
For what reason? They both had qualities I liked.
Who do you like more?
It depends on the situation.
Okay,
Pulaski was a better doctor.
alright, Pulaski was a better doctor and
Crusher was more personable.
So Crusher had the better bedside manner.
Yeah.
Almost there.
Pulaski was like McCoy with tits. But yeah, you knew if you knew if she was looking after you, you'd probably get better. And she's also not going to sugarcoat it.
You're gonna die, kid, but I can stop it. But you might lose an arm.
Yeah. But personally, I think Crusher was a better fucking psychologist and counselor than Troy was.
Yeah.
I think Crusher was a better scientist.
Yeah.
Medical scientist, because she was always doing
Yes,
experimentations.
definitely.
Pulaski was just hardline. She's a doctor, like you said, McCoy with tits. He was just doing his job, and nothing mattered but his job, and his job was being a healer and a doctor.
I'm a doctor.
Do you know what I want?
Goddamn toaster.
Yeah. Oh, I want to see. I want to see a Borg ship's counselor. The reason you are feeling depressed is because you are not in the collective. Allow me to inject you with these nanoprobes.
I got some chats. Mitch said, I'll say it here instead. They present cultural traits as race traits, which is crap. Troy is a throat goat. If your family is on board, you're gonna fight harder. Also, I'm guessing the reason they allow family is because those families, the higher ups didn't want to live because they were expendable like the mirror universe.
Yeah.
I could see Troy being like the type that she's not having fun until her eyes are like just watering like crazy.
Yeah. And cultural traits for the Betazoids.
Open the blast door now.
That's upper class Hollywood feminists.
Oh, and to go into the whole thing of like another plausible reason they could have their families on board is because if they do have children, they can raise. It's like bring their children basically to work to raise them to work on the starship.
Now you
I don't
just
know.
brought up
That-
the single most annoying character in all of Star Trek.
No, not like
Neo-
the
No, you have.
Leslie. I'm talking about like working on
Not
engines.
not Wesley.
Exocops out the database.
Not Wesley.
Before the Terrans delete all the files.
Naomi Wildman.
Lita, I don't have time to waste.
I don't even know who the fuck that is.
You didn't like Naomi Wildman?
Howard.
I wanted fucking 7 of 9 to assimilate her. She was a pointless character. She was even more pointless than Weasley. Don't tell me you liked Naomi Wildman.
No.
Good.
She had her moments, and those moments were few.
I never noticed any.
Here we go. Keep those
She was funny in the dream sequence 7 and 9 was having. Does it hurt to be assimilated? You will terminate the final question. You will be assimilated. What?
Okay.
All technicians, report to ops.
You there,
Delete
Mitch?
the database before they steal
Yeah.
it from us.
I might be going a bit too overboard here.
I'm
Shoot to kill.
I'm thinking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. God, I thought
I'm having,
I thought the atomizer in my vape was burning.
Goddamn shit with the. I fucking hate Admiral Quinn in this goddamn. I fucking hate Lita.
Current calling.
Huh?
data
Current
acquisition
here.
at 25%. Keep it up.
Not today, cretins.
I hate Lita in this story arc. I also hate Tilly and Mira Janeway.
I hate this entire fucking universe because it's
Lita shouldn't even be there. It's a Terran fucking empire. She would not have at any time risen to the rank she did. She would not have any time become fucking emperor or empress. She would never have become an admiral.
I have one better for you. This isn't
And
the
she's
Terran
also
Empire.
too fucking old.
This is apparently not the same Terran Empire because
Doesn't matter. She's too old.
The exocomet console beta is damaged.
She should actually be dead by now, or very, very old. In fact, Janeway's too old for this.
Your exocomet console gamma is offline.
you're right, but she, yeah.
Well, just remember, inside you there are two uncles, Iroh and Ruckus.
And you gotta feed them both.
Surprise.
No, I'm going to do what the Harcesis said. You know, you can't win the fight. The best way to win it is to avoid the fight.
Can't win the fight, cheat. Can't cheat,
No,
run.
if you can't win the fight, deny the fight.
Computer, initiate transfer.
You've
Well,
never
man,
watched
that was-
Stargate.
You ain't trying.
You haven't watched Stargate, have you?
No, I haven't seen all of Star
Oh
Wars.
yeah. Stargate has like the greatest tactical decision ever. We beam the torpedoes directly onto the other ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually
When they did
amazing.
that, I just lost my shit. I'm like, thank you.
That's actually a mainly used. I've seen it quite a few times online. Yeah, you got this Imperial Star Destroyer, right? Yeah, on the view screen of the Enterprise. Yeah, Captain, they're demanding our immediate surrender. Oh, how quaint. Yeah, beam a couple of quantum torpedoes to their bridge.
Well, to the beam one right to the reactor core, done. It's not like they have
Easy.
shields anyway.
Hey, well, they did, but nothing like the Star Trek shields. But it's easier than that. Just beam their fucking reactor core to their bridge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true too.
Really, why waste the ordnance?
Yeah.
makes sense.
Replicate a tree and beam it into the
Yeah,
the
no, we're all
chamber.
Star Trek, not the Orville.
Comic console Gamma is
No,
offline.
well they did. Okay, yeah, that was the Orville. I was thinking for a second they did that to the crystalline entity, but no, they put it beside the crystalline entity.
Yeah.
They actually planted the seed and
Data
then
acquisition
ended up.
complete. Well done. Now get
Yes,
the hell out
great.
of here.
We no longer need to fear the banana.
Swing the tiger. Get me out of here.
It's the little things like that that just make you love something.
Yeah. And the best security officer on the Orville was played by Halston Stage, not the replacement one.
I haven't seen the old one.
You are missing out.
I have the first season on DVD. I have yet to watch it. There is shit I need to do.
Put down Star Trek Online, go to your DVD collection, and start watching.
Is there enough time?
Got plenty of time now.
You know what? I have a vacation coming up. I will watch a few
Hey.
episodes.
You watch it, you'll thank yourself. Won't you, Mitch?
Oh yes.
There's one episode where they find this planet, and it's almost exactly like 20th century Earth, but it's a direct attack on cancel culture.
Okay.
And it's marvellously done, isn't it, Mitch?
It's pretty well done, yeah.
In fact, most of the episodes where they're actually doing proper science fiction are well done.
Yes. Well, see, Seth MacFarlane remembered that for everything else to work, science fiction or comedy, you need to have a little thing called a fucking story.
Yeah. And you've got to be true to the story.
Yep.
That's how you get fucking science fiction shows and franchises where the science is absolutely abysmal, but it works because of the story.
Yeah.
Star Wars, for example.
Yes.
I mean, because Star Wars is not science fiction.
No,
Science
no, it
fiction.
is.
Yeah. Heavy emphasis on the fantasy.
They're literally space wizards. Space wizards with laser swords.
Yeah. Thank you, because they're not fucking sabers. Sabers are curved.
Yes.
And the thing with what gets me is
Yeah, a lightsaber sounds better. That was a better marketing decision.
it sounds better, yeah, but
Light sword, lightsaber.
Bring the anti-personnel missiles
It makes
online.
sense.
Flush them out like the vermin they are.
I prefer the light pipe.
Keep up the pressure.
Keep them motherfucker at a distance.
Incident, but it's still in the fight.
I prefer Ulysses 31. He didn't just have a laser sword; he had a laser shield as well. Yeah. You not remember that?
Oh man.
That, I mean, it was a French-Japanese thing, but that was a great to introduce kids to the to something like the Odyssey.
Shit, one of my favorite adaptations of Sanguine, Black Magic. No, Goku 69.
Adaptations of what?
The character of Goku. Son Goku.
Don't know it.
It's the Monkey King.
Oh, Sun Woo King.
Son Wukong and
Yeah.
one of the
died.
adaptations is a futuristic setting where he has a magic eye, and 'cause I think aliens gave it to him. Oh, and we give you this stick that can transform into any size. Just
Yeah,
for
I
fun.
like the because of my age, I like the version that came out from Japan in the late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, Monkey. It was just called Monkey.
Oh,
The person playing Triputaka was actually a Japanese fashion model, female.
really?
Yeah.
Because I've seen Stone Monkey, or I forget the name of the cartoon, but it was a version where they told the entire story of how he got trapped into the by Buddha. And
With the with the headache band on.
yeah, like he got to the heavens. They refused to make him a god, but he stole immortality and he challenged Buddha. And Buddha like, all right, if you can go further than I can get you, then you can. I'll let you go. He goes okay, and he travels like to the far end of the universe.
Yep.
And writes his name, and then Buddha's like, oh, you never left my hand. He goes, what? Shows him the mark he made. Like, dude, I'm your creator. You can't escape me.
And that's from mythology, but it raises an interesting question, right? If the multiverse is real, right? You've got to accept the fact you don't just live in your universe; you're part of your universe, right?
Okay.
So does that mean that you can't leave your universe?
It depends on the universe, the mechanics of the universe. Have you ever?
It depends on the. Yeah, I'd say it depends on the mechanics of the multiverse, but I'll agree with you.
All right. Have you ever played the game or heard the game BioShock Infinite?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
All right. So the premise in that is that somehow these two scientists splits open a reality and like fractures it, right? And she meets her male counterpart, her male self. And together they make a doorway and take a little girl. Because they when they were transporting her from her universe to their universe, the tip of her pinky finger got cut off, and now technically she exists in both universes. And that's why she can do her trippy powers, because she's outside of all universes. She exists in two places at once. Now, if I bring it up to say, if the mechanics of that universe is true, you can do it, but there are ramifications. You could get trippy powers if you like cut off a finger or leave some blood or something in that universe, your original universe.
There's another interesting consequence to the many worlds theory. It basically means that anything is possible, right? Given that it falls within the laws of physics and within what can actually happen in real life, right?
Yes.
That basically means that any fictional narrative that is possible in the real world actually exists somewhere in the multiverse.
With infinite choice, there could be infinite realities where infinite things could be infinite choice.
That basically means that in some universe there really was a world's greatest detective called Sherlock Holmes.
And the world's greatest detective named Batman, who lived in a universe with a Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, is Batman? But is Batman possible in given reality?
And he's possible within Sherlock's reality because he's in Sherlock's future.
Yeah, but could Batman exist in the real world? Sherlock Holmes could.
Batman
Sherlock Holmes could.
Batman can. Batman.
But actually, here's another interesting idea for you. We don't know all the laws of nature, right? We don't know all the physical laws, or even all the biological laws. So it's entirely possible superpowers are real. We just never encountered them yet.
We have. All right. So have you ever seen like the people that can have like odd mutations?
Yes, they're called Democrats.
God damn it! It's the second time I fell for that fucking joke.
Shouldn't you say labor? And so basically, just to rewind just a little bit here. So what you're saying is all I have to do is develop the technology to open portals to other
universes.
Dimensions.
No, not dimensions.
Hold on. Find out a way to open these dimensions, and basically I could become Law and become the one, And if I just like blast a load into each one,
Again,
No.
I just cut off your
and then I become all powerful.
No, because you're just opening doors into different dimensions, not different universes. Each
Different
universe
universes,
contains
whatever.
roughly 11 dimensions. Dimensions and universes are not interchangeable terms.
The real question is, are you nobody's bitch?
Okay.
You are mine.
Hold on.
And what happens if you meet nobody?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Elder Campbell. Hey guys, it's James. I broke my phone and won't be streaming for a while. Sorry. All right, my friend.
Phone killer?
Goddamn
Don't
phone
sit on
killer.
it. It won't happen.
Goddamn phone killer.
Hey, another interesting one I heard is the whole grandpa paradox thing. It couldn't happen because, according to a lot of physicists, paradoxes can't happen.
It depends
So-
on the nature of the bootstrap paradox.
Well, yeah, it's a paradox. It can't happen. There is always a beginning to something. There is always an end to something.
It depends. If
There is also cause which gives rise to effect. It might just seem from your point of view that cause and effect have switched positions.
It depends because.
But hold on, what I'm on about is you go back in time and kill your granddad, right?
Mhm.
When he's 10. So your father can't be born and you can't be born, right?
Mhm.
So you cease to exist, but therefore you can't have gone back in time. That's a paradox, and that can't happen.
It depends on the nature of the time travel. If the river is a straight river and can't be diverted, then the paradox can't happen. But if a branching timeline, it will say an off stream can be created, a divot that creates a new stream is the law of the universe.
Yeah,
then
but-
yes, you can do that because your timeline isn't affected.
That's an interesting one, but there's a bunch of there are physicists who would argue against that, saying that the amount of power to create that divergence is incalculable because you're creating an entire fucking different universe, and the universe doesn't care about the about the fate of one individual person or atom, right? But
Yeah.
going on what you said, an idea that does work with that is you can't travel directly back in time, right?
Mhm.
But you can travel back in time to a universe which is exactly like yours, apart from your actions in the past of that universe are a natural part of its history.
So me going back and killing my grandfather had already happened.
No, you're going back and killing your grandfather. You're not killing your grandfather. You're killing your grandfather's alternate version. So it doesn't affect. So it can't affect your history.
Okay, so again, like the branching time stream idea then.
Yeah, but that different universe has always been there.
So I just instead of about salmon, right? How salmon swim upstream and will jump across shit to get to their original pond to lay their eggs. It's me jumping across the stream, riding upstream and then jumping into another pond.
Yeah. Because if the branch time thing works, that means there are alternate universes out there, right? That are absolutely indistinguishable from ours because one single subatomic particle somewhere in the universe, possibly nowhere near where we are, even in astronomical terms, went a slightly different way to how it went in this universe and in another universe. Yeah, and
Unless it's
the universe isn't that messy.
See, I mean, again,
By the way, I hope I haven't destroyed your stream.
Oh no,
No.
Mitch had to hop off because his computer was overheating, and it's almost time to shut down anyway.
Yeah, we're about 10 minutes out from our usual 2 hours.
Yeah. Like it says, I hope I didn't mess up your stream by turning up.
No.
Oh, not at all.
Oh
I should have thought of that before I jumped
That's
in,
what
actually.
we do on Mondays. We just talk shit.
Shoot the
And
shit.
it Usually
Yeah.
is about Star Trek or related themes, but whatever.
Yeah.
We're just here to talk.
Right.
Yeah, the game is really just a backdrop for visual
Yeah.
interest.
Yeah.
I just had a thought, though. Talking about alternate universes, you realise somewhere out there is an alternate universe where the
Where I'm black,
writing,
yeah, I know, and it terrifies me.
where the writing
Well,
team.
white. Ugh.
Hold on. Where the writing team for Sliders didn't get cheapened, and actually the show actually got better writers as it went along.
Makes sense.
Because that was a good fucking show. Then the shit all over it.
Yeah, for about a minute and a half, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say for the first couple of seasons, actually.
At
I mean,
least
when
first
they,
two.
well, it picked up a bit when they introduced the Cro-Mags.
When they get my
Yeah.
overarching villain.
Yeah. And it went downhill when they introduced evil Roger Daltrey, the brain vampire.
Oh God.
Who is it? What's it? I can't remember this guy's name. The Professor Arturo.
Oh yeah, I know who you mean.
Reese Davies?
Yeah,
John Reese Davies.
John Rhys Davies. Yeah, or Gimli.
Yes. Again,
Yeah.
I really dislike the fact that he left the show.
He left because of the same reason Jerry O'Connell left later. The writing was getting shit.
Yeah, it suffered. It suffered a lot because it was based off of a single book, and the book was
I didn't know that.
it was pretty good. It wasn't a great book. It was good. It had a lot of good ideas in it that they tried to flush out in the show, but it suffered from the being a product of its time. You know, a 90s serial science fiction show that even the people who produced the show didn't have high hopes for it because for the longest reason they kept thinking, even though there's these big amazing cultural sci-fi events, nobody ever believes in sci-fi. And
I know.
it boggles my fucking mind. And then they go, "Oh well, here's Star Trek, J.J. Abrams. Blah, blah, blah. Why does nobody like sci-fi? Because you hired absolutely all the fucking wrong people you get."
I like that fucking arsehole who was in charge of Star Trek Lack of Discovery. What the hell do you call him? Yeah. I mean, he has got one of the most punchable faces I have ever seen.
You know, the only thing that those two did not entirely fuck up, and I will die on this hill, is Fringe. Fringe is an excellent science fiction.
Me and Mitch were talking about that earlier.
I would say the only thing Alex Kurtzman didn't fuck was his wife.
Oof.
Well, no, he was too busy fucking JJ. And
I think it's the other way around, actually.
The only, well, I mean, you know, maybe they're both switch hitters. The only thing that I can think of in recent memory that I really, really thought was good sci-fi and didn't get nearly enough attention was The Expanse. And even then, what they did is they deviated too much from the source material, and that pissed off the book fans. They didn't do it too terribly that, like with Game of Thrones, they didn't piss off people until the latter 2-3 seasons.
Yeah.
Well,
even the book fans were like, okay, I understand why you cut this and changed this character. Yeah. It was just because it needed to be for television. I get it. But if you look at it, because I didn't read the book until after, well, one of the books, until after the show finished airing. But I was enamored with that show. I haven't been that excited for sci-fi since the TNG area, Battlestar Galactica reboot.
It reminded me a lot of Larry Niven's books, The Expanse.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you,
it's very hard sci-fi with like.
I'll tell you another one that was hard sci-fi that I enjoyed. You might not have heard of it. For All Mankind.
No.
It's set in an alternate universe where the Russians beat America to the moon. But in the early part of it, where it's in the 60s and the 70s, they're using, in the show, they're using the technology that was used during the day, and also stuff that was on the fucking drawing boards.
This is very recent. The season 1 was 2019. Season 2,
For All Mankind, yeah. It's a fucking good show.
Yeah, thank you for the recommendation. I'll have to check.
I
it
mean, yeah, you can't escape the female token and just tokenism in it.
out. You can
But
already see
even
that
then,
with some of the screenshots. Yeah, but
even then, it's still watchable, very watchable.
yeah, unfortunately, it's a product of our times, and we just kind of
Yeah.
have to hope that it's not too in your face to.
Oh, it's not too in your face. That's the good thing
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. If you're
mean,
recommending it, then I get that.
There's one of the scenes where the Americans, the Russians, and this private company are racing to Mars, right, to get the first to Mars.
Mm-hmm.
And the Americans rescue the Russians who've taken shortcuts on their ship because the Soviets, right?
Yeah.
And
build it fast.
they actually unfurl a solar sail, which gets them to Mars before the private company, who were using an orbital hotel that they'd altered, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's when they land on Mars, and mentions that it's not which ship lands on Mars first. It's the first person to set foot on Mars who will be the historical figure. So you get this scene, right, which is broadcast to Earth, of the Russian commander and the American commander fighting on the ramp of the American ship to get onto the fucking surface of Mars.
Yeah, what was that quote? Do you remember what the second man who stepped on the moon said? No, neither does anybody else.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been 2 hours, and I have to work in the AM. I want to thank everybody that's came out and was watching us. Mitch, you are a scholar and a gentleman, as always.
You're drunk.
You are fake news.
Yeah, he's none of those things. He's wearing a Captain Kirk shirt and a top hat.
Excuse me, I'm wearing the top hat, and I'm a skeleton, and I have
You're only a skeleton from the neck up.
Top hats are cool.
There's Batman exercising neck privilege.
Yep. The only one who's worth his salt on that fucking picture is Dr. Functional.
He better fix my goddamn ship.
Guy thinks
I'm trying to
doctors
reduce my
can fix
salt
war
intake.
wars.
What was I about to say?
It's a health maintenance thing.
I like that. I've just seen that in the chat. There could be a universe where tea is actually funny.
Ouch.
Damn.
That's what Mini News of the Zoo said.
Yeah, and that's what. Yeah, I said it. I'm the means of the zoo.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can be funny. I've heard you being funny.
On occasions, yeah. It's not often. I'm funny.
No, you know. Well, hey, you know what they say? Every dog has his day.
Ted's greatest fear is getting hot dog.
Yeah, we don't talk about his girlfriends.
Damn! Nuts! Boom! Nut shot!
That wasn't a nut shot. I didn't have the electron microscope out.
Ooh, ouch.
I was going to stop being mean now.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. Too easy.
Shit, damn. Functional, thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Batman and Rotten, as always. Thank you, guys.
I am always rotten.
Everybody's always invited back. You know how I roll. You want on? Hop on.
Well, don't tell me somebody trips you up and you're on the hill.
Yes, and I fall flat on my ass
and roll down the hill.
And it hurts.
Especially if you get in your way. Sorry, I'm sorry. I said I'd not be mean anymore.
Parting words.
No. Don't be a menace to society while drinking your juice in South Central.
Never fly a Death Star while under the influence.
Damn. Mitch.
I'm working on it.
Damn.
Oh, okay. Read all the books in the library, my son, but the cheese will still smell after 4 days.
Okay. I'll part words with all the world's stage, and you guys are clowns.
I've got to ask a question there. If, as you say, all the world is indeed a stage, what do you call the old man who rides shotgun?
We call him Mitch.
Fucker.
He's not an old man.
Yes, he is.
He's younger than me.
Probably grouchier, though.
Damn.
I
So I
could
got
give
that
you,
going for me.
I could give you a run for your money, fuckface.
I doubt it.
Hey, leave my resident diplomat alone, okay?
Yeah. I get diplomatic immunity. Stick that in your hat and smoke it.
I don't recognise your diplomatic immunity.
That's because you're fuck meat.
And I'm going to fucking use my flamethrower on your hat.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, not his head.
Whatever shall I do?
Well, I'd take it off if I were you.
If only there was a world where there was more than one hat.
Unfortunately for you, there isn't.
Dems have
Now
white
you're
dudes
just
for
talking
Harris,
nonsense.
but we got niggas for Trump.
Hey, that's a question. You know that Jet Li film, the one which has been referenced tonight, right?
Yes.
Never heard of it.
If you take that premise, right,
Mm-hmm.
and you go to different universes, right, with an axe, and you use that axe to chop up alternate versions of that axe, will that axe end up as the most powerful axe in the multiverse?
I don't think that's how it works.
Why not? Works for people.
Yeah.
We should ask an expert.
We should ask him. Yeah.
I mean, that film, the one, that was the stupidest premise I've ever heard, and I thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
Yes.
Oh, it was great.
Oh, Jet Li, Jason Statham. What's not to enjoy?
It was also telling a
Delroy motherfucking Lindo, yo.
The thing is,
That movie.
the premise was ridiculous,
Yeah.
but the story was right, and the acting was good, and
the camera and the soundtrack.
and they were having a hell of a fucking time.
Yes.
Oh, and have you seen the two Kingsman movies?
I haven't seen the Kingsman movies.
Oh, wait, watch the first two, right?
But Jet and Jason became fast friends after that too.
Did they? That guy only ever plays villains in Western movies, right? Jet Li.
No, Jet Li's
No.
played heroes.
I've only ever
yeah.
seen him playing villains. I've only ever seen him playing villains in Western movies, apart from the one where he plays a hero and a villain at the same time.
He
was just a villain in Lethal Weapon 4.
But
he was a hero in Hero.
But I've seen him interviewed, and he's just a nice guy.
Yeah, it's too bad he's a CCP operative.
He's also Shaolin. He's also an actual Shaolin, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, like, he might be the nicest guy, and he genuinely, like, I do believe, and he's a good actor, and I love watching him do his martial arts stick and all that good stuff, right? But he is still owned and bought and paid for by the CCP.
You wouldn't leave any good.
Kind of like, okay,
up by
you're souring the milk a little bit, but what are you gonna do?
What about Sammo Hung?
I don't know enough about Sammo Hung. I know Jackie Chan.
And the fucking CCP show.
Sammo Hung was brilliant in his day. I mean, he's this really fat Chinese guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who moves like greased lightning on coffee.
I wonder, are they actually CCP operatives, or are they doing what's best for themselves
and their families?
Yeah,
I believe
that's what I think.
I often wonder if that stuff is done under threat.
Probably more of the latter than the former.
Yeah, just like the Russian athletes, you know, they compete for the USSR because
Mitch, the essence of being a CCP operative, you don't have a choice.
That's true.
That's what I mean by it. Like, I mean, sure, they could go against it, but then them and their families are just gonna disappear faster than a Q snap.
Disappear.
Q will just boom, done.
Gone.
And by Q I mean Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Q.
Winnie the Z.
Can we stop streaming?
No, we haven't.
No, he.
Okay. I thought we stopped. That's why I was.
No.
I thought we'd stop.
Stupid.
I was going to start insulting the fucking chat.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for coming out, and we will be back Monday. Me, Mitch, Functional, and whoever else wants to join us.
And those of you who didn't come out, it's still good to stay in the closet.
Rub you wrong time.
Only $5.
All right, with that, ladies and gentlemen, the zoo is closed. Have a good night.
See ya.
Push this.
Illogical.
Fix my goddamn warp core.